How's it going, everybody? It is Sam with BFPGear.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Kinetic Paintball Kinetic Modular Pod Pack. Now, this company has been making some stuff for quite some time now, and they've had quite the cult following. People swear by their product, and we just picked up some of them, specifically these pod packs and the new pants that they create. But today we're going to be looking at the pod pack and see what sets this bad boy apart from all the other pod packs out there. So stick around, and we're going to see you right after the intro. All right, so here we have one of the Kinetic Modular Packs. And these pod packs all come in a 5+4+2 configuration. So what that's going to mean is that you have 5 main sleeves that sit here, and then you're going to have 4 sleeves that sit on top that can carry pods, which gives you a total of 9 pods, but then there are 2 more off to the side on the outsides here and here, where you can get 2 more pods in, allowing you to carry 11 pods, which seems to be the sweet spot for most pod packs out there. One of the ones that I look at most of the time is going to be like the infamous Pro DNA harnesses, whether it's the Reflex harness or the Reflex Sport. Those ones always come in a 4+7 configuration, giving you access to up to 11 pods on your pod pack, which is a lot of pods. If you're a back player and you need to strap up, you can get like 8+ pods. That's not a problem, especially with this pod pack here. And I really like how the configuration is on this one with your 5 main sleeves, and then you've got your 4 up here. And then there's also Velcro where you can attach more to your pod pack. The reason why this is the modular pod pack is because you can do so much more with this pod pack than just, oh, it's a 5+4+2 configuration. There's actually like more attachments you can get for it to carry more paint if you want to. And then I believe there's also the ability to create this into a strapped harness if you ever want to do that. But one of the cool things about this pod harness and it being modular is that you can undo some straps to figure out if you need any extra sleeves or not, which I think is a really slick little feature. So if you're a front guy and you're like, man, like a 5+, that seems a little too much, you can always configure your pod pack however you want to. Like maybe you only want to carry 7 pods out there. You can do that. The other thing that's really cool is that this pod pack is, as you can see here with all these sleeves, it's actually Velcroed on. So I could take the whole thing off if I needed to, or if I wanted to attach maybe different attachments to it or something like that. But you can take the whole thing off. It's just a Velcroed panel. And if you're ever worried about the Velcro coming off or undone, like this is some really tough Velcro. Like it's probably going to take quite some time to take all this stuff off, but it is also secured at the bottom as well. Another thing that Kinetic does differently is that all of these other pod packs that are out there on the market are a one size fits most. So you have elastic bands that you take one strap, put it over, put the second strap over, and then you do it again to tighten the pod pack to you. These pod packs don't use that. They actually use like a traditional belt system. And what you would do in this case is they come in different sizes. For waist sizes, I have a small one here because the small would fit me. I only have a 31-inch waist. And this fits up to a 31-inch waist with a little bit of give. The nice thing about that is that you have a fitted pod pack that's going to feel like a second skin when it's on you at all times. Like, don't even think of this as like a pod pack. Just think of it as like a belt that happens to carry pods. And you configure it by actually running a Velcro strap, such as this here, through these metal loops. And it's just gonna like further secure this pod pack onto your body, and you're not gonna have to worry about this pod pack moving around or anything like that because you secure it to yourself like it's a belt. And let's be real here, if you're wearing a belt normally, that's what holds your pants up. This pod pack is gonna hold itself up with this belt tension system. And you can go even further too if you need to with these little straps by just pulling them further and then just going over to keep tightening your harness if you need to. So I think that's a really cool thing. These pod packs do come in 3 different sizes. I've got the small right here because the small would fit me. I have a 31-inch waist, but they do have a regular size, and then they also have a large size that goes up to a 44-inch waist. So if you know exactly what your waist size is, you can always pick up the proper pod pack for you. And to help with that anti-slip, there is some material that's lined up on the back here. That's going to be a more grippy material. So once you have this secured, that grippy material just sticks up to your back, and guess what? This isn't going to move around or have any kind of bounce whatsoever when you are completely strapped up and loaded with a bunch of pods. Now, I will say that the pod pack itself, normally strapless harnesses, they can be a little tough when it comes to putting pods in or taking pods out, but I can safely say that with the Kinetic Modular Pack, it is actually pretty easy to take a pod out, and it's really easy to put one back in. I know some of the other strapless packs where you have to kind of stretch the sleeve open can be a little difficult, but as you see here, it's slightly open already, and you could literally just take a pod and just shove the pod in there, and it's going to hold in there very nice and securely. So that's a feature that I really, really like right off the bat. It's going to be easy to pod back up. You don't need to like take your harness off or have somebody help you out or anything like that. You just grab your pods, shove them into the sleeves, and you are good to get back out there on the field. The last thing about the pod pack that we have not gone over, but we're about to get to it, is the price point. These pod packs are $134.95, making them arguably the most expensive pod pack out there, but it is really easy to see why that is. With a completely fitted design that has like really sturdy belt loops and straps and this great anti-slip protection material, as well as being a fully modular pod pack versus all of these other pod packs that come in the configuration that they come in, where you cannot change anything about them, you can't really add anything to them. I would say that this is a highly justified price point. This is a minimalist design that boasts very, very high-end features. Like you saw, you can shove pods in super, super easy, and I'll do it again just to prove. Like, that's all there is to it. It is just so easy to pod this whole thing up, and it's just ready to go, which is just such a cool feature. I really, really like that about this pod pack. I love the fact that it fits just like a belt, and honestly, I can say that after putting this thing on multiple times, it just feels like I'm putting a belt on. It seriously just feels like I'm putting a belt on to like just put pants on or something. It seriously feels like a second skin. I don't notice that it's there. It feels really, really good. That anti-slip pad that's on the back too has a little bit of cushion to it, so it does provide a little bit of lumbar support. I would personally like to see more of that because I honestly just have a bad lower back, and I really like having that extra support there, for at least for somebody like me. But if you are interested in picking up a Kinetic Modular Pod Pack, you can do so right now on BFPGear.com.